Hello and welcome to the Level 5 Diploma in Occupational Health and Safety Practice, which is accredited by City and Guilds. I am Martin Grant, Head of Distance Learning for Corporate Risk Systems Limited. We've been delivering NVQs and other training courses for a large number of years, and the following presentation is designed to help you to get started with your studies. The Level 5 Diploma is a vocational qualification which provides an alternative route to sitting an examination. Many employers now prefer vocational qualifications over examinations, as it demonstrates not only that you have knowledge and understanding of the subject, but also that you are able to apply this within the workplace. And of course, achieving this qualification entitles you to apply for Grad IOSH membership, and also clears the way for onward graduation to chartered membership. To achieve the qualification, you will put together an online portfolio of competency-based evidence consisting mainly of work-related products such as copies of risk assessments, reflective reports, presentations, minutes, witness testimonies, and assessor-led observations and professional discussions. An estimate of the total time required to complete the course is in the region of 419 hours, and this includes both study and assessment time. And the course can be completed at your own pace by using your own individual learning style. Your evidence will cover a range of health and safety management topics, including culture, training, risk control, proactive and reactive monitoring, emergency response, auditing, behavioural safety, and policy setting. There are 11 mandatory units, each with their own assessment criteria, which must be satisfied in order to achieve the qualification. Please take time to read through them. There are also 6 elective management units, none of which need to be completed to achieve the qualification. They are purely voluntary. However, if you are intending to apply for chartered membership of IOSH, then you must complete Unit 611. You will then be able to start the process with IOSH. Each of the main units is broken down into elements, and each element has a number of assessment criteria. Taking Unit 510 as an example, this unit has 4 elements, the first of which is 510.1, which contains 8 assessment criteria, the first of which is 1.1. All units are structured in the same way. You will need to provide a minimum of 2 pieces of evidence for each assessment criteria. You will upload your evidence onto our online delivery platform called Learning Assistant. More details about this system will follow. All of your work will also be assessed and verified online. This cuts down on the vast amount of paperwork that would otherwise be required, and also allows you to work around your other commitments and study at a time that is convenient to you. It also facilitates a quicker turnaround time for assessments to take place, and for you to receive valuable feedback on your progress. So where do you start? We've included a short introductory unit, 000.1, which is designed to get you used to the process of uploading your evidence. Once you've done this a couple of times, you will see how straightforward it is. This unit also allows your assessor to get to know you and provides an opportunity for you to highlight any areas where you may require some additional support. Once you've completed Unit 000.1 and it's been accepted by your assessor, you can start one of the main 11 units. You may decide to do these in chronological order, but strictly speaking, you're free to do them in any order you wish. If, for example, you are currently involved in a work project such as developing emergency response systems, then it makes absolute sense to tackle that unit at the same time. You will need to read the assessment criteria and possibly research any areas that you are not familiar with. Next, identify and upload your evidence. Write and upload a reflective report. One of these is required for each of the main units, and submit the unit for assessment. Your evidence must be your own work, and it must demonstrate your competence in relation to each assessment criteria. Here is a list of acceptable evidence. Please take time to read it. Your evidence must not be work produced by others. For example, we do not need to see copies of HSE publications unless they've been reviewed and annotated by yourself to show their applicability to your workplace. Blank forms are not considered strong evidence. It's much better to show a worked example. And lastly, city and guilds have computerized systems to detect plagiarism, so don't chance it, it will result in disqualification. Your assessor will be looking to see that your evidence is valid. In other words, is the evidence you're presenting relevant to the assessment criteria and appropriate to allow judgment of your competence? Is it authentic? Have you produced the evidence and is it your own work? Is it signed and dated? Is it current? Does it show that you can consistently perform to the required standard now? Normally, evidence presented should be no older than 2 years. And finally, is it sufficient? Is there a sufficient range of evidence to prove your competence? Sufficient evidence doesn't mean lots of the same evidence, but a balance of different types. Reflective practice is a hot topic within IOSH, and a technique you will need to master should you wish to become a chartered member. The primary purpose of reflective practice is to demonstrate your ability to analyse the personal, professional practice you carried out. In order to produce your evidence, you're required to produce a reflective report for each of the main units, and this report should place your evidence in some context and explain to your assessor how it satisfies the assessment criteria. You can see an example showing part of a reflective report relating to assessment criteria 1.1 of Unit 510. Hopefully this provides some insight into how you should approach your report writing, how much to write, and how to reference your evidence. To provide an overview of the whole process, as I've already mentioned, you need to produce your evidence and a reflective report for each unit, then upload it onto Learning Assistant and submit it to your assessor. Your work will then be assessed and either returned to you with feedback for further work or accepted and locked down. Once your work has been accepted, it will be available for verification internally and externally. There are various other sources of information available. You will by now have received an automated email from Learning Assistant with your login details, including the web address to go to, your username and password, and when you log in, you will have direct access to your assessor and will be able to contact them via the system. You will also have received a further introductory email from CRS, which will include hyperlinks to 2 important pieces of information. The first one is the link to this presentation, and the other is a link to our guidance manual, Getting Started with Learning Assistant. It's crucial that you read this manual, as it contains step-by-step guidance on how to use Learning Assistant and how to upload and submit your work for assessment. Here are some other useful contact details which you should store and keep available. There will also be opportunities for you to attend regular NVQ Open Days at our Derby offices, where you can sit in on presentations, meet other learners, and exchange notes and ideas, and raise any issues with your assessor. I hope this presentation has been useful, and I wish you the best of luck with your studies.